Good afternoon, Shane. Good to have you here.
It's good to be here. I'm Flagstaff native. I grew up here in Flagstaff. I grew up under a very adverse set of circumstances. I was raised around things like drug addiction and alcoholism and homelessness, so it kind of generated a need for an outlet. So I got into art at a very young age. I first got into drawing and sketching around 9 or 10. That was just with graphite. I would just kind of look at things and draw them. And then I was incarcerated for about 3 years for drug-related purposes, for drug-related reasons. And when I got out is when I really started to explore painting. So I've been painting for about 7 years. I viewed being incarcerated as sort of a vantage point from which I could view my behavioral and mental processes and sort of evaluate them and see where I can make changes in my conduct. So I was really focused on books and exercising, and I was the librarian while I was in prison. So I was just surrounded by books all the time, and I was just constantly sort of reading, and I didn't really give myself too much leisure time. So the whole time I was in prison, I didn't do art at all. And then once I got out, I needed an outlet. So I began painting to sort of process my emotions a little bit. When I'm not doing a commission piece of art, all of my art tends to be generally subjective. I draw from personal experience. I do paintings of life experiences that I've had. Like this painting right here is my mother and I used to walk a lot growing up because we didn't have a car. So I painted that a few years ago. And I generally just draw from personal experience. We have this one back here of my addiction in its full swing. I painted that when I was in a really dark place. And so yeah, I just draw from personal experience. I love to paint things of Northern Arizona because it's where I grew up, it's where I'm from, and it's what I'm most familiar with. Because recovery is probably the biggest part of my life today. I surround myself with other sober alcoholics and sober addicts. I just want to, and I get so much from that community that I want to give back to it. It's really important to me to be of service in that way and in any way that I can. So I want to give back to the community from which I've drawn so much inspiration and so much hope from my addiction. Just by sort of living out my recovery and by being an example, really, like letting people who are newly into the world of recovery kind of see what it can bring you, by living out a life filled with hope, by working every day at strengthening my recovery and strengthening the solution, being a part of the solution and just showing people what sobriety can bring you. I think it's really important that we stand on the shoulders of giants. So when people see somebody thriving and happy in their work life and in their sober life and in their family life even, they're like, wow, maybe I can get that too. And so by being a part of the sober community, we're building something great, I believe.